Hi everybody. Before we start this episode, it's a fun episode. We had a blow. We just finished filming it. We had a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff we talk about before we get into Blake Lively and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But Sienna just made a really good point that maybe we should put some resources out there for people who are actually suffering from domestic abuse.
Absolutely. So if anyone is, a victim, survivor, etc., we do have a link in the description for multitudes of hotlines and help services that you can reach out to. We love you all. We wish you the very best in your day-to-day lives, and we hope that if you are in a situation such as Lily Bloom, that you do seek help. And there are some links down below that you can search on for our Australian viewers out there. And if you are overseas, we wish you the very best. I'm sure you have great resources from your countries that you live in. And if you do want to, have a chat privately,
yeah.
Send us a DM
Please,
reach out to the real GMat or Sienna Scar on Instagram or Facebook.
We'll help as best we can.
Absolutely.
We've spoken with community members before about things that have been going on. We're happy to be a good ear. But as just a trigger warning, we do talk about this film. We don't touch too heavily. I don't want to give away too much about the podcast, but I feel like we should give a little bit away.
Yeah,
we do on a sort of broader scope. Support Blake Lively and her attitude. We do explain ourselves efficiently.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But overall, we would never diminish a person's experience.
Absolutely. Your experience is your experience.
Which is half the point of our podcast, that we never know whose experience is what.
Yep.
And that we just hope that everyone's safe and everyone's
absolutely
good.
Stay safe out there, guys. We love you. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave a comment down below of what you thought and what you'd like us to touch on next week. But here we go.
Please enjoy.
Does anyone have cyanide?
Speaking of sexual offenders.
Not every time.
I've just shit myself. Hey, guys, if you're audio listening to this, fucking
come over to YouTube.
Like it or follow it. No, it's whatever. Just wherever you're watching / listening, do a follow and do a like.
Or leave a comment. We'd love to know who's tuning in. You can comment on Spotify. I didn't know that.
You?
Under the episode, you have the opportunity to leave a comment. Now,
That's
anyone who has a Spotify account, you're welcome to do this. You have the option to leave us a comment. If you want us to talk about a particular topic, we're super open.
No, we're not. I talk about what I
Don't
want.
listen to Matt. This is my show now.
Jesus. What was that?
Me fun.
Me absolute fun.
G-Matty Matt.
What a day.
What a day we have had together as a unit.
What have you been doing for the last, because we haven't seen each other for a few hours.
For a few hours we haven't. So I went to work.
Yep.
I went to work at
Tit.
Can I take my shoes off?
Yeah.
Catch.
Try again.
Show the camera how much you love my
Jesus Christ. Straight in the water bowl.
Smooth transition.
So fucking 7
Court 7:40.
Court 8. Court 8 this morning.
Yeah, by the time I rang you it was
Sienna
Court 8.
gives me a buzz and it says I've my tire's blown.
Fully.
My
She's
tire's
fully
flat.
blown.
I need you to help me change
F.
it. What was I
Mine is
saying?
studying. So
we need everyone to know we're both very tired.
We are
It's going to be a hard one today.
beyond, and we have so many notes.
So many things to talk about.
Can you hear me in your headphones?
Yeah, can you not? You're not hearing it. Maybe headphones are.
I believe you.
Are they plugged in?
They are. It's just really soft. It doesn't matter.
Turn it up on the side. You know what the problem is? It's because you wear the headphones like an alien pretending to be a human. But you only learn how to be human from reading about humans.
I don't like to.
Every time it's headphones. Why
like
can't you put headphones on? Every show you're like, oh, they're falling off. Oh my god.
Because I like to have one ear on, one ear off.
You could
Mr.
do that
Miyagi.
and it'll stay on my fucking head no matter what I do, you lunatic.
My head's just a little bit smaller than the average humane.
Jesus Christ. These headphones they're such a struggle, sorry.
Oh my god, do we both have ADHD or what?
So get a message. Here's the difference between this is how over your shit I am.
Over your shit.
When our friend Em was here and she stayed with us, and then the next morning she had a flat tire.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? I'll take care of it. You go inside. Relax.
Relax.
Have
Take
a
a
Tim
load
Tam.
off.
Take a load
Get out of the rain, sweetheart.
Yeah, and when I got your message this morning saying flat tire,
Help me.
threw my doona off, and I was like, for fuck's sake. Sorry, Lulu. I was like, oh,
you stupid bitch!
stupid bitch!
Why did I invite you to live with me?
And it was just like, and I was so tired. It was 4 a.m. I was like up till
That you went to bed.
just tossing and turning like I feel like I'm an insomniac. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so go out. No, I was quite happy to help, by the way. I'm being hyperbolic. I am happy to help.
I can't tell you how bad I felt because Geordie left me in the driveway, stranded at the drive-in, branded fool.
Yep.
What will they say when I'm late for work?
Yeah, he had to go to work, so I was left with the responsibility of you.
Of the other wife.
Here's the problem. I changed a tire like 10 years ago when I was like 18. When my old man taught me how to change a tire, and then I hadn't changed a tire for 10 years since then. So, but I've gotten really good at it because I had to change Em's tire. I changed my tire, and so when it came around to changing your tire, I was like,
"Oh, piece of piss will
I'm
be
all
done
over
in
this.
5 minutes."
It really, I was like, I don't need a fucking Google or anything. I know there's information stored up here. Now, look, there's going to be a lot of people listening to this who are like, "Yeah, get over it," but also, I know how to run Premiere Pro and you don't. You know, I can use Photoshop and I can mix a album. You can't fucking do any of that shit. So if you feel like a big swinging dick because you can change a tire, go fuck yourself.
I can't.
I'm very excited that I can change a tire.
I was being, how do you say, useless, and standing there and watching you help me. My dad would be disgraced that I couldn't change my own tire, but
whatever.
He did say, "Make sure Matt puts it on properly, nice and tight."
Yeah.
Like a goddamn condom.
Everyone, that's exactly what Em's dad was saying. Like, it's always a dad on the phone being like,
my dad rang me like 3 times.
And I was like,
my
dad, he would not stop calling.
My dad rang me 3 times about the curb rash on my tyre.
Just because I make
Not about the fact that my tyre's completely blown. Just like, Sienna, you got to stop parking bloody too close to those curbs. Look at that. See that white ring around your tyre there? That's you parking too close to the curb. You need to be more careful. Dad, I can't get to work because my tyre's flat.
I remember you being like, Dad, I can't talk about this right now.
Yeah, because
this is so far down the road of problems that we've got at this moment.
Yep.
Can't think of it. Dads have such a good. It's a very specific skill to be able to like kick you while you're down.
Yep. So, oh, by the way, you can't park properly, Sienna. I didn't raise you to do that. Park against the curb like that. You got to be more careful. Then he rang me back saying, "You all sorted? Yeah, all good. Thanks, Tone Dog. Now you got to be careful when you're parking your car too close to these curbs, Sienna, because you're gonna end up back in the." And he goes on the tangent. You're gonna end back up in the shop, and they're gonna say, "What the bloody hell?"
And you know what the problem is?
My dad's a real Aussie battler.
I got a little bit of that in me because I did look at the tire and I was like, he's right. You are fucking scratching that tire up.
Shut up, Matthew.
That tire looks like a piece of sandpaper.
Let me be white. What is the point of me being a white girl if I can't crash into the curb?
I was about to say, what does being white have to do with driving
oopsie doopsie
terribly? You're like, white people infamously scratch their tires.
White people, they can't drive.
That's our stereotype. My version of that is like, you know, because I did theatre and that. I remember doing like one show and just doing a shocking job. And I came out and my old man, he knew. And I was like, yeah, it's just bad. He was like, yeah. Also, you were really out of breath all the time.
Oh, fucking hell.
Is your weight getting in the way? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Puppy.
Shut up, twat.
And then you went at home.
Eating chocolate.
It's the long.
What's the one the kids always go? They go. All right, enough of that.
Yeah, really good.
So we're changing the tire.
Trying to.
For whatever reason, I had the same problem when I changed Em's tire. I couldn't fucking find where the jack goes because my biggest fear.
It's like the clitoris.
It is. Every car is different.
Yep.
Every car is different. Every car needs a little bit of extra, you know, and
tender love and care.
Just like women, terrible at communicating what they want. But I always find it.
Yeah.
So I did.
And that he did.
I did find it. But it's like. That's my biggest fear is like putting it in the wrong place because that's where you fuck your car up. Anyways, so once I got that, I was using the now please I know car people are going to be like, you fucking idiot. But just know I was doing my best. I'm going to put up a picture of Sienna's tire here. What are you doing?
I said...
This is bad for the audio listeners who can't see you miming.
Well, then you should click on the YouTube link below.
I'll put a picture of the tire up so you guys can see. This is where I was at.
Can we take a picture of the good tire?
Yeah, I'll take a picture of it with like the things on. So, and I was trying to put the lug nut wrench on the lug nuts. I think that's what they're called. The nuts on the tire to loosen them before I jack the tire up. And that's as far in the process as I got because your lug nut wrench wouldn't fit on the bolts of the nuts on the tire. I was like, what the fuck? Now, this is where I went wrong. People are going to work out, like car people are going to work out my issue as I go. But I'm hoping there's a good faction of the audience who are like, oh, I would have done the same thing. Because need I remind you that Jason came over.
Yeah, our neighbour, who's a full-grown adult.
Full-grown adult man with a beard.
He's grown it himself.
And
he's got offspring.
He couldn't do it either. But I took the lug nut wrench. I took Sienna's lug nut wrench that wouldn't fit on her nuts on her on her car, and I went over to my car, and it wouldn't fit on my ones either. And I was like, oh shit, maybe this is just a weird one. So then I got the one out of my car. It wouldn't fit on yours, but it would fit on mine. So that made me think.
And Jason's wouldn't fit either.
And Jason's wouldn't fit on yours, but so it made me think that your nuts were the problem. I
had $1,
made me think that the bolt, the nut, the bits on the car that you have to screw were the problem. That's where I went wrong. I shouldn't have assumed that. I should have fucked around with it a little bit more. So then you ended up.
It was also 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and I'd just woken up after like 3 hours sleep. So I did everything I could. I couldn't. Like none of the lug nut wrenches would fit the nuts. I was like, sorry, you got to call roadside assist. Yeah. And you call roadside assist and you don't have a membership. So you have to pay $280 to get it
or my membership. I'm a member for insurance, not roadside assist.
Sorry, my phone just keeps vibrating in my pocket. Fuck off. So many Instagram notifications. Guys, just leave me be. It's you. How are you doing this?
I don't know.
By the way, I don't want to take another tangent, but you got to stop with the reels. The reels are too many.
You're my only friend who'll laugh at them.
Honest, it's like it's just so you guys know, this is
lonely.
This is how it goes.
I'm so lonely.
I'm going to say
I have nobody.
This is the level
on my own.
There's at least 10 reels that get transferred between us daily, and it's you, me, you, you. This is it's too much. It's been a long day. So we go inside, you get your roadside assist set up. Call the guy to come out, and he shows up and immediately gets the pliers out and takes the...
Oh, it was embarrassing. You were not there. No, so Matt went to go have a shower, and as soon as he left,
grease.
The RACV pulled in the driveway, and I'm on the phone to book in for some tires. So we say like a silent hello to each other. And as soon as he looks at the tire. He goes straight into the car, pulls out a pair of pliers, and just boop, 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 and plucks them off. And I was like,
safety caps.
Oh, I just told the lady on the phone I didn't have the equipment to get the cunts off.
So,
oh bother!
The bolts, the lug nuts on the car had safety caps on them. Now, by the way...
That was shaped like the groove that's supposed to fit.
Exactly shaped like the bolt, which I guess makes sense, but they could be circular.
Yeah,
with like with an
indent,
and they're metal.
Yep.
They look strikingly like what you would need
They were. And you didn't recognize them, and Jason didn't recognize them.
They're not on my car. They weren't on Em's car.
They're not on Geordie's car.
Some cars just don't. But your car didn't have a hubcap.
No.
That was another thing that was different. I was like, oh, it doesn't have a hubcap. Every other car I've done has had a hubcap.
That you just...
So that's probably why you have the safety caps, because you don't have a hubcap blocking those bolts. So admittedly, a bit embarrassing, but also I mean, in the grand scheme of GMat, hardly the most foolish thing I've ever done.
Hardly.
Not even close to the most foolish thing I've ever done.
If you want to see more foolish things,
oh boy,
click on the link below and watch our latest episodes.
So that was a pain in the arsehole.
That was a pain in the arsehole.
And then we had to go for a drive.
We went for a drive. We got the tyre, which ended up having a giant nail in it, patched up. Back on.
Didn't have to pay for a new tyre. That's nice.
Yep.
As well.
Yep. Kmart was about to leech me another $200.
Yeah.
But we managed to get it done, and then Sienna drove straight off to work, worked a bit, and here we are. Back. We're back again. We meet again.
I went to the gym. I did some work. I had a nap, shower, shopping.
Here.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back, baby. Now, Matthew, I've just to lighten the mood a little bit today because we've had a fucking shocker.
Yeah. I'm also just cranky today. Like I woke up. I mean, I guess I woke up.
You've been cranky for a few days.
All right. I've been cranky for a few days.
You've been cranky.
I haven't been cranky.
Stop it. Stop it.
No, I've been cranky. I've been cranky at you.
Yeah, I know. That's not hard.
I've been generally like, I'm in good spirits. It's been a
you
bit
just want me to evaporate sometimes. I am the wife you didn't ask for.
I am. Some days I do wish you wouldn't be around.
On this plane.
In this plane of existence.
Yeah. You wish I would go to Saturn and try and land.
It's more like
I'm going to go talk to them peoples.
It's just more when
in the galaxy over there.
It's when you want me to do stuff.
Yeah,
when you're like, hey, can you come? Like the song when you.
I just want Matt to come over and play with me, and he won't.
It was more. No, I don't mind that. It's just like.
Yes, you do. You never come over.
Because I'm doing shit. I like my own. I'm doing my own thing.
No, I want to play with people.
You know what? You've never ever come over here and like kicked it. So
when have you ever invited me? I'm not going to walk into your house uninvited like someone that we know
I could be
really, really well that just kicks my fucking door in. What's up, player? Have you got coffee, Sienna? Is there any chocolate in the fridge? What are you doing, you dumb slut?
Now we're going from I never come over to I come over too much.
No, you come over unannounced.
Get your story in
the story is that you ring me and say, why is your fucking back door locked? Because I want to come in here and take your food.
And let me. But the other
You're
day,
like, the bricks are the worst thing that's ever happened to us.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they've put these bricks in their back door, admittedly, and now I'm realizing it's literally just to keep me out.
No, it's not. It's to stop the dogs from. We've put a doggy door divider in the door, but we want them to stop pushing the screen door open.
It's a sliding door.
Yeah. So we've put just little timber blocks in there to stop the door from coming out, but Matt tries to get in and he's like, ka-tung,
It
ka-tung.
fucking drives me crazy because I used to just go and have straight up entrance.
Yep.
But now it goes ka-clunk, and that's my least favorite sound.
Yep. Sorry.
I don't mind being invited over to hang. It's when you're like, I'm having trouble with this, like when you can set up the sound equipment.
Yep.
And I'm like sitting and
or
I'm
the
like,
Nintendo,
fuck, which just seems to be a lot of what you need me for lately is to do things.
Yep.
Or to fix something.
Yes.
And I'm like, I
need a hero.
I'm not in a relationship. I'm not, my brain isn't there.
Yeah.
I'm not always ready to be told to do something.
Yep.
So if I start dating a girl, you can ask me to come over and do, because I'll be ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in.
You'll have the bloody tool belt on.
I'll be in husband mode all the time. But right now, I'm in sexy bachelor man mode.
Yep.
And I don't want anyone to. I just.
A revolving door.
You know when you're like.
Take a ticket at the door.
It's that.
In and out, ladies.
Some people get that. You stop talking about my house like it's a fuck fest.
It's just, basically a frat house with one frat boy in it.
It's Ellie. Yeah.
It's Ellie farting.
Yeah.
There's always fucking something torn up. Speaking of which, where are the dogs?
We
can't stay on one topic for more than 2 seconds.
Convince people I'm a fuck machine. I'm changing my mind on that. Tell people I get girls over all the time.
Dude, you've been getting messages on Instagram from the ladies.
I do get a lot of. My Instagram has been low and up.
People just think you are DTF.
I know, and I'm not. I just want to be left alone.
You just want to either want to be loved or left alone.
Yeah.
And I can't do either of those things.
Smooth transition.
Now, these are not our jokes, but...
we're so tired.
Yeah, we're so tired.
What are these?
This is something I hadn't pitched you before.
What?
Lots of radio shows do them. People call in and they give their best answers. So these are...
This is from
the butlerdiaries.com.
You are screaming into your microphone.
Am I? I can't hear myself. I'm so sorry.
Are your headphones properly turned off?
Smooth transition.
Go on, tell me this thing.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
So lots of radio shows call up and they give their best answers and they try and make the host laugh. So I'm going to present you these.
Okay. Best answers of what?
So this is from butlerdiaries.com. This is the tradie nicknames in Australia that are so funny you'll have the work site cracking up.
All right.
So this is
I want to fucking kill myself.
Yeah, I know. This is nicknames for the workmates who are just lazy. So when they call up, they say, we had a guy called, and then they have the nickname, and then they say why it's the nickname. So I'm going to present it like that.
Yeah.
We had a guy called Wicket Keeper. He puts the gloves on and stands back. We had a guy called Cordless. Charges all night, but only works for 2 hours. We had a guy called Devondale, someone who always does the cream job. We had a guy called Seaweed, just floats around all day and stinks. We had a guy called Pothole, always in the road. We had a guy called Trapdoor because he comes out and grabs anyone who walks past his bay for a gossip.
This is, you know what this is? This is office humor.
Yep.
That's what she said. Did you watch Jimmy Fallon last night? Isn't that funny?
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Those fucking dweebs. Anyone who watches Jimmy Fallon is a fat virgin. Honestly, the talk show, the late night circuit is a fucking joke of office humor puns.
It's because Matt keeps getting rejected as a guest.
No, fucking Jimmy Fallon, you moon-faced alcoholic.
Smooth transition.
Let me have a crack.
There's only 4. Goodbye.
Welcome back, everybody. These are the nicknames for workmates who are legends.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
Limbo carries 8 other people. Isn't that funny, Sienna? You know, we had a bloke at work, Sienna. Have you ever worked in an office before, Sienna?
Yes.
Yeah, it's bloody great. We had a bloke at our office called Turbo. You want to know why it's called Turbo?
Why, Matt?
He always works at high speed. God. Now let's go to Rosanna by Toto. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Sienna, we're looking at nicknames for workmates who are absolute legends. You ever worked in an office before?
Yeah, I have actually, Matthew.
What'd you do there? Suck dick?
Yes, under the desk.
I'm so horny. We had a guy called Magician. You know why he was called Magician?
Why,
He's
Matt?
called Magician because he makes challenges disappear. God. And you know what? Here's the last one, submitted by Anal Fist 69. He says, we had a bloke at our work called Chief. You want to know why he's called Chief?
Why, Matt?
Takes charge. Coming up next, Christian.
Coming up next, my suicide note.
Smooth transition.
All right, sorry. What did you keep going with whatever you had going on?
Matthew.
Yes.
You ever tried to breastfeed a Craig?
Now this is a segment I can get around. What's
So these are there's a guy on TikTok called Italian Batch, and he made a video about names that are extinct because you can't breastfeed them.
Yeah, that's a good.
And they're quite funny. You can't breastfeed a Craig.
You can't.
You can't breastfeed a Clive. He said in the thing, he's like, you can give it cute names like Cheese and Clive Dip. But no, he won't.
Clive's not latching. Like that. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. Alan, he said, Alan just won't take to the teat. It's quite good.
Yeah.
You can't breastfeed a Simon unless you hold him in for 40 years.
Shut up. Keep going.
You can't breastfeed a Richard Dick.
Yeah, but even Richard is by itself. I'd rather breastfead a dick than a Richard.
He said you can't breastfeed a Mark because you just want to shake his hand. And you can't breastfeed an Adolf.
Yeah, you can't. No breast. Yeah. yeah. But also, let's be fair to the ladies, because I wouldn't want to be breastfeeding a Leslie, you know? Or a Gertrude.
Yeah, no, I'm not about it. Can you do some bits for you so I can...
Some bits for me?
Oh, just taking back to the tyre. Can you recite what I said on the phone when I panicked?
What's happening? We're jumping around so much. You know we got lots to talk about. So you're like, all right, that's done. What's next? Recite the tyre. What's recite the tyre?
I'm going through my notes. You heard me call the tyre shop.
That's right. Yeah. This is Sienna. When Sienna had to... Ellie, stop it. When Sienna had to call the tyre shop to...
It was an automated answering machine.
to book to get new tyres. I was leaving. I was walking out the door and it was like...
I'll do the voicemail intro and you be me. In a few short words, please tell us why you're calling us today.
Get new tyres. I laughed at it already. It was just like 3 seconds of silence and then get new tyres. I nearly wet my pants walking out the door.
I panicked.
Very
I panicked
fucking funny.
so hard. Hey Matt, tell us why you're such a fucking vampire.
What? It's such a bad segue.
I know.
What were we talking about? How did that come about? By the way, the tie thing.
It was the pheromones, girls making up stuff.
You have to tell the viewers about the thing that you learned.
All right, so I learnt on TikTok, right? Hard segue. Sit your $5 ass down. Sloppenheimer. Sit down, or I'm going to give you another tumour. Sit down. Sit down to your tumour for free. Good girl. Learnt on TikTok.
Yeah, learnt on TikTok. Everything's TikTok today with you.
It is, and it's going to be.
You're going to be the TikTok curator.
Yeah, baby. Learnt on TikTok that when you start to ovulate as a female who experiences a period, you're very attracted to your selected partner's hormones and their pheromones, and everything about them is tantalizing. But when you start to how
do you make a pheromone? Build him a nice pyramid. What are you going to say?
Nothing. Nothing. Get out of here, man.
Keep going.
When you begin your cycle, your body then starts to reject the partner's pheromones because they were an unsuccessful breeding partner. So then they start... they didn't knock you up. So that everything starts to annoy you about them. You don't like their smell. You don't like the way they talk. You don't like the way they breathe, eat. Yeah. And then I told that to Geordie, and Geordie's like, that's something girls made up so they could complain.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm with him there. That's such fucking bullshit. Because it's such stand up, turn around so I can hear you because you're talking out your ass. You're talking out your ass. The idea that like if
it was not me
every single time you don't get your girlfriend pregnant, that she suddenly like
her body
tells her I'm unattracted. Yeah. Also, and the thing that where I said I was a vampire was that every single intimate partner I've ever had has always been like day 1 or 2 of their period, nothing, and then the rest of their period they're like, for God's sakes, put it in me. Like just the horniest thing possibly. And they're like, I'm on my period and I just want you to fuck me and I can't. And I'm always like, fucking put down a towel, you know? I'm a fuck. And then I said, I'm a vampire. Num num num. And then we nearly pulled the car over. When I said, I'm fucking Dracula. Think I'm scared of a little bit of blood?
Just call me Saltburn, baby.
You know what I've seen?
Do you know what I've seen? Do you know what I've fucking been through?
You know what I've been through? You think I'm scared of a bit of blood? This is like a constant run of D-Day going in my fucking head. Just helicopters and people screaming.
Helicopter, helicopter.
Helicopter, helicopter. Yeah, so you're just like... Tell them about that thing you said. That's the whole.
Hey! It's like the other person sitting right there.
The other thing you said in private while we were driving that was disgusting.
Yeah.
Just tell them.
Just repeat that. Repeat that to the 4 people that are watching right now.
That is some like fucking bullshit though. I mean, I'm sure there is an element to that could be true, but like also like just accept that you're like getting the fuck over your partner.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Like if you're going like, oh, you didn't get me pregnant, and that's why I'm annoyed at you.
Usually that's a celebration.
yeah. Most people are like, yes, let's fuck again. You know, no one's. If you're sitting across the dinner table being like, I hate the way that they chew, it's not because they didn't get you pregnant.
Yeah.
I can't even listen to you breathe anymore. Having one person, just having one.
I'm gonna do this for 7 days of just hating you, and it comes back to normal.
I wish they weren't in here.
I wish they weren't in here. I wish they were not on this plane.
In this house. Yeah. I did something you said before may reminded me. Being embarrassed about doing something dumb.
Yes.
I just got this gig, everybody. I'm going to be going around Australia playing Shrek in the Shrek Rave. The Shrek rave. So at this point, I'm guaranteed.
Sorry.
I'll be in Melbourne. I'll be in Adelaide. I'll be in Sydney, and I'll be in Hobart. The reason I was like really keen on this because there's also shows in New Zealand.
Oof.
But I think they have 2 Shreks and they want to optimize. So I might be going to other locations, but they were just telling me these are the ones you're guaranteed. We check the other person's availability and then work it out with you. So there might be other ones I do. I might be in New Zealand. I might be in Perth. I might be at the Gold Coast.
So if you're a fan, go see.
So check out the Shrek rave because it's a popular rave, and there is only one the Shrek rave. So if it's coming to you, book tickets because I'll be doing Shrek there.
Yeah.
But the thing,
as in you'll be dressed up as Shrek.
Yeah.
Great.
Fully. Yeah.
So what?
Literally no idea what I'm doing.
You're just gonna have to sing "I'm a Believer." I'm sure of it.
There's DJ. I do some crowd work. It's like I think it's literally.
What are you doing in my swamp?
I think
swamp. What
are you doing in my swamp? That's what I'm picturing. It did say Scottish accent necessary.
It's quite good.
What are you doing in my swamp? So, anyways, the dumb thing that I did was I was telling you were right.
It's exactly how it's gonna go.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking sick.
Oh my goodness me! In your little fucking the little crop top that Shrek wears. What are you doing in my swamp?
Now I know we've dragged Em into a lot of the stories today, but
yeah, go ahead.
Em, who with the flat tire from earlier, she went to the Shrek rave last year.
No way.
So I've been telling her about it.
She's on the ground doing research.
She's boots on the ground.
Yep.
And I told her on the phone. I'm like.
Sort it out, Matthew.
So this is me being disappointed in the phone call. I was like,
okay.
Like, of all the locations, like I wanted to go to New Zealand. I wanted to, but like I really, of all the locations they could have given me, the one I really didn't want to go to was Hobart.
Yeah, Hobart's gonna.
I was like, I don't want to go to fucking the Northern Territory, and she's like, well, don't worry, fuckhead. That's in Tasmania. And I was like, oh,
yeah, it is in Tasmania, you fuckhead.
Person.
I was saying, yeah, that's going to suck because it's going to be cold down there.
She was like, that's fine, dipshit. It's not there. And I'm like, oh. Very embarrassing. I feel like I should know where Hobart is.
You know, Darwin?
I know it's Darwin. I mean, yes.
You heard of the place called Darwin?
Yes, I know Darwin is the capital city of the Northern Territory now, but just for whatever reason, I've thought Hobart was Northern Territory, so I'm really glad I'm not. So, no offense to, because I know we have listeners in the Northern Territory. We have listeners in fucking... there was one country where we have like a stupid amount of listeners. Anyways, we got listeners all over the place. So I do apologize, Northern Territory. Nothing wrong with you guys. You live in a desolate desert state and I hate everything about it. And you. But no, I really didn't want to go to Darwin. I got no interest in going to Darwin.
It'd be so nice and hot up there. Get to swim in the Billabongs.
Oh!
Catch a bloody goanna.
Are you telling me I can get on a 6-hour flight to go swim in the Billabongs?
Swim in the Billabong. Eat some witchetty grubs. Get a bit of hard yakka.
I can't believe it.
You're missing out, brother.
You're telling me. You're telling me.
Boing, 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 boing. It's the most Australian fucking... The outback.
You're telling me I can get on a 6-hour flight and sweat?
You can sweat.
Sign me up right now.
You can get sunburnt. You can get dust in your cockhole.
Oh, God. Yes! Southern,
Can you put underneath that?
Yeah.
You know the Australian... Boing, 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 boing.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know exactly.
Boing, boing, boing. Yeah,
can you put that underneath it?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. I think it's like that metal thing that you ping, ping. It's like a twangy. It's probably got a name. It's
very Australian. Keep talking.
When I did the Aladdin tour, we went to like the middle of Australia.
Did you go to a whole new world? Shut up, Sienna.
A whole new world.
Don't you dare shut your mouth.
Fantastic point of view. We didn't go to Northern Territory. We went pretty like high in South Australia, which is touching. And that was a fucking shithole. I gotta be honest.
Sorry, Radelaide.
The centre of Australia is a fucking shithole.
But it's dust.
It's as raw and
so at work
and tough as it can get. And we stayed at this one small town that had like a hotel.
That's it.
And like a school, and it was just like desert and roads leading to these like I'd stand at the supermarket. And I could see the road that leads all the way over there to the fucking hotel, and the road that leads all the way over there to some people's houses, and the road that leads all the way over there to the pool, you know? And like everything was like separated, and I'm like...
And was everything looking like waves?
Yeah, like I could see the heat making shit move.
Yes.
If you're picturing like an Australian desert town,
that's it.
You've nailed it.
Yeah.
Like they were like, by the way,
tin roofs
like,
everywhere.
Don't leave your door open for any second. Like if you go in, shut the door. You go out, shut the door. Because spiders.
Oh,
yeah,
big time.
Fucking everything. Snakes will come in. Just bugs. Like you went out and I was just covered in mosquitoes. And they were like, so there's a storm. We're getting a sandstorm tonight. So just make sure you shut your windows. I was like, okay, so shut the windows. I came out the next day and the sand was like a half pipe up the back side of the house. Hotel. Also, they were like on the thing. It was like, stay here. We knew it was gonna be hot. They're like, this hotel's nice. It's got blah blah. I got a pool. We're like, we can sit in the pool. We went to the pool and it was just dry, full of sand. And
let's go sit in the pool, brothers.
Like, what happened to the pool? And the guy's like, draw it up.
Yeah, draw it up.
Draw it up.
Rains haven't come.
No pool. Yeah.
No pool here.
No,
you want to go to the pool? Got to go another 40,000 kilometres that way. And just keep going.
You fellas must be from Melbourne.
Melbourne. What's it like down there in the bloody soggy part of the world?
No, we haven't had a pool in
since 1980.
What year is it? You know, they're desolate desert people out there.
Yeah, that's where the mole men are.
The heat has just fucking fried their brains. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to going around Australia. Come see the Shrek Rave.
Can you put a link?
I won't be in the Northern Tasmania. I will be in Tasmania. I like Tasmania. I'm looking forward to going to Tasmania. I got family in Tasmania.
Are they...
What? Do they fuck each other? Yeah, they double-headed fucking sheep fucking weirdos. Yeah, they are. That's my family you're talking about. You know, when I turned 10, I got my first sheep.
Oh,
I'll cut that out. Yeah, I really wanted to go to Canberra as well because I do have proper like family in Canberra who are like around my age. And I was like, they would have come fucking jumped on the Shrek Rave instantly.
I want to go into the deep dive, but I want to make sure that all your things are done.
I mean, I'll save whatever I had to talk about. I'm not doing that. I realized I had to face that way. I'll save whatever I've got to talk about for next week. It's not that important because you've been telling me about this Blake Lively thing.
So I'm hoping that this, the fact that we're talking about this as a deep dive will just shoot us up in the atmosphere of the algorithm.
I'm going to sit like this because I couldn't give a fuck about Blake Lively. So I'm keen though.
Okay, great. I'm glad.
You know what I couldn't give a fuck about? The next 30 minutes of the podcast. Here we go. No, tell me.
Yeah, here we go.
Set it up. Tell me this
All right,
bullshit.
so Blake Lively has a new movie that's come out.
By the way, when I say I couldn't give a fuck about Blake Lively, she seems like a lovely enough person. You know, she seems like...
If she was single, I'm sure you'd rock her world.
No, I just mean like I don't mean to be like, fuck her. Because I don't know anything. She's just another celebrity. Her and Ryan seem...
Running her fucking mouth.
Well, I don't know what she's done. You said everyone's mad at her. I was like, she seems all right. Her and Ryan seem funny. They seem like they have good banter. He seems, as far as I can tell, he seems like a person in the industry that is loved. Mm-hmm. He's had one bad run-in, which was with TJ Miller, and TJ Miller is infamously terrible. He's been run off every show he's worked on, and he's the one that has the bad... Ryan Reynolds is a baby story, which people ran with, and I'm like, I don't know if we should trust... an arsehole. So I don't know if someone like him would attach himself to a bad person.
Yep.
So through association, which is lazy, I think she must be a decent person.
And she is.
But go on, tell me what's going on.
I think she is. Oh, I've properly fucked it now.
What have you done? You fucked the headphones. The headphones have never been more broken. 222, yeah. My name's Matt, and can you hear me? No, they're broken. Fuck. Maybe unplug them down that end.
I did.
Yep. You are so dumb with headphones. All right.
Okay. Now,
what did Blake Lively do?
I'm not going to give my opinion until the end. I need to explain the story.
Yeah.
Now, the research that I did was from the actual clip. So it's not someone doing the review and giving their opinion and then I'm reciting their opinion. Yeah. I'm going to tell you what happened, like by the actors and people in the movie saying things. Yeah. So Blake Lively has a movie called It Ends With Us. Yeah. It's based on a book about a girl who survives domestic violence.
Yeah, of course.
And gets out in the end. Well done. And the whole point of the story is the cycle, it ends with us.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a nice story, marketed terribly. I said I wouldn't give my opinion, but it was marketed really poorly. So her and the team were marketing this movie as like a rom-com. Like
a rom-com.
Bring your friends, wear your flowers, come to the movies and see my new movie. It ends with us. It's a love story, blah, blah, blah.
Now, Connor, because I know you can be hyperbolic. Did she say, two very important things to say there. Did she say it's a love story? She couldn't have. Because, if you say that, that's sounding correct. That sounds, did she say it's a love story? And this doesn't sound like a rom-com. Are you being hyperbolic and saying she's advertising like a rom-com?
No, I'm legitimately saying she advertised.
It's a rom-com because anyways, keep going.
Anyway, it's advertised like there's flowers are everywhere and everyone's in pink. It's like the Barbie movie.
Yeah, but isn't a theme of the movie something to do with flowers?
It's just her name.
Her name is Flowers.
Her name is Lily.
Okay.
Blossom Bloom.
Yeah. Okay.
Something stupid like that.
Because when you and I had this conversation, I knew nothing. Mm-hmm. Then I watched that H3 clip. Mm-hmm. So I know a little bit.
Yeah.
A tiny little bit.
Yeah.
But I keep going. Sorry, I'm going to let you set it up because I know nothing.
So at this present moment, the main character who was in it, Justin Berlin, I think his name is the director and the main male in the movie, and he's the abuser. Mm-hmm. And Blake is the abusee. Yeah. And
that's a bold,
big time.
Two roles to take on.
Huge.
Being the abuser guy and the directing. Anyways, keep going. I'm sure it's a great film.
Yeah, and everyone who's come out of it and said it is a good movie. He did very well.
Good.
None of the cast nor the author of the book follow him on Instagram anymore. They've all unfollowed him.
Yeah, why's that?
Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. I'll have to get into it. I need to set the scene.
Because by the way, did you say that this movie is about, have you in this rant here explained that the movie's about domestic violence?
The movie is about domestic violence.
Yeah, and a woman escaping domestic violence.
Yep, and it is not portrayed that way via these press interviews, the PR that they're doing around. This isn't
PR for that.
Yes, it is.
It's not. That's from 2016. It's a totally different movie.
This one?
Yeah, that's not from that movie. This is people pulling up old bullshit to drag her down.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Just so we're clear.
The one where...
Sorry, by the way, but everyone, I'm pointing at an interview that we have to react to.
Yeah.
That I have to react to because you've already seen it.
Yeah, the one where the guy asked her about what you'll do when people ask you about domestic violence is from the movie. Okay. She reacted poorly to.
What did she say?
I'll get into it.
I'll get into
it.
By the way, my initial feelings towards this, from what you've just said there, is that she is in her right to tell people
whatever she wants.
Yeah, especially
she wants bums and seats.
But also grab your girlies. Wear the flowers. The theme to the film. Yeah. Grab your girls. Come to the movie. Like at no point should we dictate the way that people turn this story into a champion story. If that's what it is. If it's like, let's take back control of this awful situation and this awful thing that happens and be the champions.
Be the victor.
Be the victor rather than the victim and go in and be with our girls and watch this movie about, like, you can go into a pretty serious, dark thing in a positive way.
Yeah.
Not a positive, but like you're going in as a champion, you're taking back control of this bullshit that happens constantly. And if it's for people to be like, and also people don't know what her story is. People don't know that she doesn't have her own experience with domestic violence and that she hasn't, like, she is whatever. They're just saying you don't get it, and you're turning this into like people go in with a smile and like you're not handling the material right. The movie hasn't even come out yet. You fucking dweeb.
Yeah.
Now also that's just my initial feelings. I'm like, are people, and of course. The fucking like this is a movie about a woman gaining back her who she is as a person and getting out of that situation, and we're all like fucking dragging this woman through the goddamn mud. I'm like it's such we're a twisted society.
Yeah. So I think the problem people are having is whenever they bring up something about domestic violence to her, she either changes the wording or changes the topic onto something else, or makes a joke of it, or completely like will say something and then go, oh yeah, by the way, domestic violence is terrible. Here's the hotlines that'll help you.
Yeah, I can't. Wait, I haven't seen. I got to see an example of her doing a joke. Because everyone will read that, they'll say she makes a joke, and people go, oh, what a piece of shit.
I'll tell you the joke because I can say it back to you.
Okay, all right, go
on. So someone asked her, like, how is the character of Lily, how does she overcome domestic violence? What is it about her character that's so powerful? And she's like, oh, it's not just about her, doing this. She's got a multitude of things, and she's this and that and the other, and she's not defined by this of she's not a victim and she's not this, or maybe she is a victim and maybe she is a survivor. Like she says she's not a survivor and she's not a victim. She's not defined by that. But then she also goes in the next sentence, but she is a survivor and she is a victim of domestic violence.
But maybe she is.
No, she said, or she is she goes, she's not only a survivor and a victim, or, maybe she is a survivor and a victim. She's just kind of like backpedaling. She's just trying to not talk about.
By the way, I can't hear how she's saying it, but the way that you're saying it, I'm like, what is she? Nothing is wrong with that. She's saying, first of all, let's not make this. Domestic violence is so impactful and significant. By the way, I'm so sorry to rant to you about domestic violence, but just to make it clear, like, people don't know what my stories are with domestic violence. I had my own experience with
and that's
domestic
very
violence. I'm not coming at it from like
it's not just one. It's not, and the director makes it clear that this is a gender-based telling of domestic violence. There's many aspects of domestic violence,
and I'm not saying that I have an understanding of we're women and I'm just saying. I'm just voicing my opinion, and
that's what we're here for.
In this context.
Yep.
Because you're presenting it to me, asking me to present my opinion.
Yes, I am.
So that sounds like she's saying, well, let's make sure that a domestic violence survivor is more than a domestic violence survivor.
Yes,
that's the first point she's making.
Heart and feeling and
she's
soul.
She's so much more than that. She's like, that's just one thing that happened to her. That's not an aspect of her personality.
Yeah, and she's not defined by it.
And then turning around and being like, but maybe she is.
Yeah.
Maybe that is. And that's what I take from it, her being like, but it's her choice to work out what she is in that realm, what she is in that universe, and how she takes her experiences and how that impacts her personality and who she is. That's what I got from your telling, especially with the way you first said it, where you're like, she's not just a virgin, she's a blah, 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 but maybe she is a victim. Maybe she is. And that doesn't sound like a joke.
Yeah.
And she could have said that with a smile. Like, maybe she is,
yeah.
I feel like the perception of celebrity is so fucking twisted from the public.
Yeah.
That everybody.
And they do. They pull, as you said.
10 seconds. I mean, it's happened to me.
Yeah.
Take a fucking 10-second bite of something and make that who I am as a person. And now it hasn't happened anywhere near the scale but like I've lost friends. I've had friends who don't talk to me anymore because of one thing.
Yeah.
I've had community members, that person that reached out said, you're a corporate piece of shit.
Yeah.
I was like, corporate? What is going on?
I live in a granny flat.
I'm literally running my own. People perceive you right down to that thing where people are like, what's with the chewing gum phase? I'm like, I chew gum. Like that's a very small thing, but like it speaks to a bigger picture. You're seeing glimpses of a human being who is on a press junket, by the way, which is 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 p.m. at night. They sit in a chair.
And they get spoken to.
And people come in.
Yeah. So it's like most of the interviews that they're doing is all the cast and the author, but not Justin.
Yeah.
He's not invited, even though he's the director and the main character.
By the way, as a sidebar, have you to the viewer, as a human being, ask yourself, have you ever been tired and said something stupid? Mm-hmm. Or have you ever been overtired and said something with the wrong tone and you went...
And you don't even remember saying it?
Now imagine someone's filming you when you do that and they get to use that as...
And that's the only clip they edit?
As ammo to turn you into a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's what happens constantly, because the amount of things I've said...
Which is...
Where I was either tired and I was even short and I was like, sorry, and I stop and I go, I'm so sorry. That sounded really cunty, but it wasn't meant to be cunty. I really was trying to... And it's not being filmed, you know. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Like, it's good that you say that, because this drama has been surfaced, I suppose, by like Hollywood reporters and, you know, internet gurus that pick and pull and they've spliced all this together, like you said, like this clip.
Taking this interview from 2016.
Which is like the biggest...
This fucking bitch dropped now. Like, what a nasty thing to do.
Yeah, so...
And her reasoning... By the way, which I watched I haven't watched this clip. I watched her explaining the clip.
Okay.
And she said, I dropped this because I feel like she shouldn't be allowed to get away with this. And I'm like, what a nasty,
and awful, I feel like that's why she did that, because
terrible
Blake is getting attacked right now for the press.
Yeah, and she's saying, movie. You know what? I have this footage of Blake being really rude. And I just don't think people should be allowed to get away with this.
No.
So I'm going to release this footage of her so people can drill her. I'm like, you nasty, nasty cunt.
Yeah.
That's
it's not. And the way we'll get into this, because we'll watch it and then we'll pick it apart.
And by the way, I don't know this woman. I don't know if she has some history.
Yeah.
Like if I say something like you're a nasty cunt, and people are like, she's actually a Nobel Peace Prize winning. She battled through like breast cancer and blah, blah. And like, I don't know any of that.
Yeah.
I'm just reacting to a person
that's going to hit you like a ton of bricks.
Who had very, very awful footage of someone who maybe might not have been at their best and decided to drop that footage.
I'm sorry, I can't hear anything you're saying right now because it's egg.
She decided to drop that footage 8 years later while there's already a pile-on happening, just to teach her a lesson and say, you can't get away with this. I'm going to show everybody what a piece of shit you were in 2016.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ellie, that's fucking disgusting.
That's a nasty fart.
I'm sorry to keep interrupting. And I could be wrong, by the way. I should make that clear.
But it does.
I haven't seen everything.
Fine.
I don't know enough. This is my reaction to this thing.
That's right. For example, people are wondering what happened. And there is a thing that came out about what happened and why people don't like the director and all that thing. Mm-hmm. So he's got a podcast that he talks about masculine toxicity, toxic masculinity.
Yep, you nailed it.
Toxic masculinity and how he wants to eradicate it. And he does TED Talks. And he's a very good man and he loves women's rights, etc., etc. So he doesn't
make him a good man, but
no, but he doesn't seem like a piece of shit from face value.
Yes, there's a lot of pieces of shit who champion really important issues, but just because you're a champion of important issues doesn't mean you're a good person.
Yeah, that's right.
Chances are you could be a nasty piece
and
of shit.
We weren't there, so we don't know what happened for Wheelsies. Yeah. Anyway. They've pulled bits out of the different cast members, like Jenny Slade's in the movie, and someone asked her,
Love me, Jenny Slade.
Yeah, she's a good gal.
Yeah.
Interviewee on the red carpet asked her, what did you think of the director also being in the movie? How did you find working with him? And her response is, it makes me think that I'm glad I only had one job to do, like... it makes me think that, I think I'll just do acting. Like the way she explained herself, I think I'll just do acting. I'm so glad I only had one job because that was such a big deal.
Just pause that thought. Sorry, everybody. So Jenny Slade says, it makes me appreciate that I only have one job.
She doesn't say how she felt working with him. She just said, I'm glad that I only had one job. And then she pulled it back on her. She's like, when I think I really like writing and what a great writer I am. But I'm glad that I didn't have to write and act in the movie. I'm glad I just did one thing. And that's Ellie. So she didn't say anything about him. She just said, I'm glad I only had one job to do and not two, like him.
Now, let me guess. People have taken that.
And said,
that to say,
everyone...
she's saying he wasn't doing a good job.
Yeah, that he was a mess. Yeah.
When most likely what she was saying was, what a big role he had to take on. What an undertaking. I'm glad I only had to do one role because he had a mammoth task. She didn't say how good he did, how bad. She didn't say any of that.
She just said saying, that was her. Yeah.
It's a big job.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
At this,
and by the way, no living human being would ever be that passive aggressive. Would ever be asked a question and think someone did a bad job and be like, well, I'm glad I only had to do one job. Like to take it that way is so fucking...
In reverse...
Oh, gosh.
The other...
I spoke too soon.
At the same event, they asked Justin... there's 2 other books. It's a 3-parter. Yep. And they ask him, are you going to direct the next one? And he goes, oh, you know what? Maybe not. You know, I think Blake Lively is ready to direct. And in every kind of phrase is the same when he talks about Blake Lively. He goes, she had her hands, she was the producer. Yeah. He said she had her hands in everything over the project. She's a force of nature. He always mentions she had her hands in everything. Yeah. Which she should, because if she's the producer.
Yeah. And by the way, to say she's a force of nature, like that's a compliment.
Yeah. You know? Yeah.
But what are people saying? Saying that she's passive aggressive.
Well, Blake came out on the red carpet and she was like, "Oh, by the way, my husband Ryan rewrote the opening scene, and that was in the movie." And then the writer has come out and goes, "I didn't know that because before the writer's strike, I handed in my script and whatever was done on screen, which I assume was ad lib, which was great, and I really liked it. No worries, but I didn't know that Blake got Ryan involved in the movie and had him rewrite a scene and then present it to the cast."
Yeah. Guys, this industry this is not a shocking thing, by the way.
No, it's like a kindergarten argument. It's crazy.
And by the way, Ryan Reynolds is clearly an accomplished...
Yeah,
we don't know what he's done. We don't know that he doesn't... Does anybody know, anybody who's spreading this, know that he has a history of writing or know what he's worked on or anything like that? Or are we just saying, oh, she got her husband a job? Are we saying someone who has excelled in the industry, had the gall to take on a
fact
task?
that Justin also didn't know that Ryan rewrote the script.
How would he not know that? He directed the scene.
That's apparently what he said.
Fucking lunacy.
Because he was like, oh, everything that was added, I really liked and blah, blah, blah. And Blake added so much to everything she touches.
We also don't know that, like, what she said there is... He rewrote. What we're picturing is him sitting down, taking the script, crossing things out.
Exactly.
Maybe you just said,
switch these lines around a little
sweetheart, dear. What if you said that? What a great idea. Yeah. And then she pumped her husband up on the thing by saying like I'm not just powerhouse. Like everyone helped. My husband was there. He helped rewrite the fit. Like maybe she picked the wrong words, but everyone just taken these little things.
Yeah, they're pulling her
little
apart.
snippets and being like, Jenny Slate was obviously being passive aggressive, like no human being would ever.
Yeah.
And Justin, what's his fuck was saying she had her finger in every pie. What a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
As if he would ever say that on a press junket.
Yeah.
What a nasty, awful thing for a human being to do. Even people that hate each other be like, you know what? I loved working with them. They're a consummate professional. And then they go, fuck that dick. I'm never working with them again.
And they go, they asked I think it was the author. They said, do you think Justin will direct the next movie? She goes, whoever it is, whoever it's going to be, she never says it's going to be him. She's like, whoever it will be, I'm sure will, do it justice. And like, she never says it's going to be him. And he doesn't say it's going to be him either.
They probably know.
Yeah.
They're probably like aware. It's probably like, this is fun.
Because they said, do you want to act in he said to Justin, do you want to act in the next movie? He goes, someone better out there is going to do that.
Yeah. Like he's being humble or
exactly, something like that. But they're pulling things.
Yeah, and also they've probably answered that question 7 times already, or some variation of that question, and then they answered that one slightly differently. I don't know.
So the alleged beef between the rest of the whole cast and the director is that Blake said that he fat shamed her on set. So Blake's just had a baby, and she said she had a little baby fat on her. Justin in the movie has to pick her up. There's a part where he has to lift her off the ground. Yeah. Now, he has a series of back problems and has had surgery for his back. Yeah. And he asked one of Blake's assistants how much she weighed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now everyone has taken that going, he's fat shamed her on set. Yeah. And the whole cast. This is what the public knows.
By
we
the way,
don't
guys,
know if anything else.
You have to be fat shamed. What a ludicrous.
Blake is
Blake,
one of the.
Did you see her in Deadpool? Good fucking God.
She is one of the most, if not the most beautiful person on this planet. The audacity, next to Gal Gadot.
The gall and the audacity to. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know everybody struggles with their own bodies. I shouldn't fucking jumping down that so hard, but like
Blake is objectively beautiful. She is beautiful.
Now, of course, beautiful people don't think that, and they think
exactly.
Whatever,
everyone hates themselves,
but like everyone struggles. But like you
nothing you can say I haven't said fucking 4 centimeters away from the mirror,
crying.
Yeah.
But like you clearly aren't struggling with your weight right now.
Yeah.
So, chill.
Yeah.
Such a bad attitude to have. I'm so sorry. By the way, just this is like what I said, like in the follow up episode we did for the Barbie movie. I don't stick by anything that I'm saying. By the way,
just your immediate reaction.
This is stream of consciousness.
Yep.
I might listen back to this and go, "Oh, that's not right," but I might still put it out because I'll be like, "That's what I was thinking at the time." But my opinion might change. I might see more of this, and next week be like, "You know what? She did seem a little bit nasty."
Yeah.
In my experience, everybody jumps on celebrity as a concept.
Yep.
And feel like they understand a person, feel like they get everything, and feel like they have the right to make really, really intense judgments on a human being based on seeing
30 seconds,
0.5% of them as a human being.
And like the crazy
it goes both
thing,
ways. People being like, "Oh my God, how amazing is blah blah blah."
Yeah,
just because they blah blah. Like Obama is the greatest human being who is deleting Middle Eastern villages.
Yeah.
That's a really bad example. I was trying to picture someone who was held to like the highest esteem.
Yeah.
And I was saying, by the way, I love Obama.
Obamacare.
He seems like a nice man who was good at his job.
Absolutely.
That's not my. I'm just saying we can't vilify or turn gods into any celebrity person because we don't know them.
Yeah. And that's like the only beef. The beef that the public has heard of is that he fat shamed her on set. We don't know what else.
Did she comment on it?
I don't know.
By the way, how did that information get leaked as well?
A Hollywood reporter.
Yeah, so even this might not even be true.
Yep.
This could be absolute bullshit.
Now, he has commented on it.
Okay.
And said that he loves working with Blake, and he whatever he may have said has had no malice towards it. Yeah. Like people have said, he has back problems. I think he was asking for a genuine reason to perform a stunt.
A silly question, maybe. Like he could have phrased it. Like maybe he was like, it was quick. By the way, how much does Blake weigh?
Yeah, like I've been told not to lift.
Not the way I would have asked that question.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, oh, but can we? I would have been like, can I talk to Blake?
Yeah.
You know, like,
can I talk to a stunt coordinator just to see how we're going to do this safely because of my back, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Or like be something like
you could even be picking up, you know, like a guy playing a dad picking up his children in a movie. Ask the stunt coordinator, you know, what's the best way to approach this?
Or like, and if you do need to know her weight, like, admittedly, asking anybody what their weight is a tough question. It's a hard question, and maybe in that environment they weren't ready to. Yeah, she wasn't ready for that question, and it did come across weird. And maybe he should have been like, "Now I have a limit of weight that I can lift because of my back. We should talk to Blake and see just to make sure. Like there are ways you can go about the conversation, and maybe that did happen.
Yeah,
and maybe this Hollywood reporter is like said bullshit, and it was so nothing that he's gone. Oh, well, if I did say something like that,
it was so long ago. Because how long does a fucking Hollywood movie take to film?
And then they worked together for however long, and maybe they're good friends and. People are creating this beef and they're actually okay, and I don't know. Keep going.
The other side of it that's
I feel
attacking...
like there's some smoking gun here that I'm waiting for.
Yeah, that's attacking Blake, is that she's been really insensitive about the fact that it's about domestic violence. And I think they're only pulling that from this one thing that she said, which is dumb, and it's a throwaway thing, and it's very Ryan Reynolds of her. I think... when I present this to you, I want you to flip it and imagine Ryan Reynolds saying this. You would probably laugh just because he's so dry and that's his type of humor. I think coming from Blake, it wasn't taken that way.
Look at you being a feminist. I'm so proud of you.
Is that being a feminist?
It is. You're saying, like, imagine if this was coming out of Ryan's mouth. Not her mouth. That's a very valid and like By the way, the joke there, everyone, is that
that Sienna is really not a feminist.
I'm a much bigger feminist than Sienna most of the time. Obviously, that's a joke. It goes up and down. Everyone has spectrums of what feminism and blah blah blah. But that's for another episode. That's a really good point, and that's something that people like.
I wish we never were allowed to vote.
It's Jesus Christ. It's something that people roll their eyes at when you bring it up. You're like, now imagine if a man said, like, imagine if a woman, like, and people go, oh, here we fucking go. But it's an important point.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I liked that. I like that. Yep. And I will picture that when you say it.
So,
because I do think it's funny and ironic that this woman who is driving this story and has taken on the role of filling this character is just being dragged.
She is being dragged
like by her heels through fucking town.
Which is sad because
she's been.
It's hard to when you have you said before you have a pre-idea like if it was Trump being dragged, you're like, well, fuck Trump because he's just the worst. But like I've always liked Blake Lively, and to have negative things thrown out about her, it's like it goes against your confirmation bias. Anyway,
maybe that's a part of it. Maybe But it happens to a lot of people. You see, like,
well, the headline is Blake Lively a bitch? ? That's the big thing, which can be the name of the podcast. She's doing a Skype interview. The interviewer asks her, because you are playing a person who suffers from domestic violence, you're obviously going to get a lot of survivors or potentially people who are experiencing a similar thing that Lily went to come up to you and ask you questions. Mm-hmm. How will you respond to the fans that will approach you and ask you questions?
Yeah.
And her immediate snap responses, well, I'm going to give them my phone number and my home address and the Find My Phone app. I'm going to, give them all my contact details, like my tax file number, all of that stuff that's like way too personal.
Yeah.
And that was the only bit that was cut out of that interview. She's like, well, I'm obviously, going to take them home with me and they can call me whenever they want when they've got a problem.
Yeah.
And that part was taken out and people were responding to just that bit. And some people were like, that's so fucking insensitive and how dare she? She's representing a whole community. And the other half of them were saying she's an actress playing that character who may not have any real life experience or any knowledge to respond appropriately to those questions being asked.
Yes.
The second half of that interview, she says immediately after, which is not the bit that people pull out and is on fucking ET and whatever.
Yeah.
By
the way, this happens all the time. The fucking time. You look at something and you go, oh shit, look at that. And it's for everything. It happens with like body cam footage.
Yeah.
You see some stuff and then you see the full thing and you're like, oh damn. I missed all of the context.
Yeah.
Oh, and interviews and clips of people like saying things on podcasts or on streams, and they say things and they just take that bit and right before it they might have set it up to make it clear that this is something that it doesn't appear to be, or afterwards they say, oh, by the way, this fucking happens all the fucking time.
It does.
Sorry.
The second half of her interview,
the media is disgusting. Yeah, I fucking hate the media.
It really is bad.
Every side, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC.
You got a Fox News dad?
Every fucking...
He watches the news until he can't.
Every Fox News fucking twat and every MSNBC pussy, every side of this is just filled with dipshits. So, keep going.
The second half of the interview,
their job is to make you click and comment and inflame, and the fact that anyone thinks the news and the media and the government are here to do anything other than
the Russians
pour fucking petrol on the flame is you're living in some fucking dream reality. Literally. Everything is about making money.
Grow up.
And the way you make money is by getting people angry.
That's very true. The way you make money is get people angry or get people scared.
Yeah. Get people clicking.
Sorry. The second half of the interview.
Yep.
We good to go?
We're good to go.
Okay. She says, of course I will respond in any way I can. I feel so sorry for this group of people.
Yeah.
I hope that the people who I meet do get the positive experience of Lily and they get to get out of that situation. They can escape that situation. And then she goes and lists references and phone numbers, websites of people who can seek further, better professional help.
Yes.
Which is the appropriate thing to do.
You know what else is appropriate? You don't talk to her.
You won't.
There is. I get that this is a very, very big thing, but she's an actress.
Yeah, a very high-level A-lister Hollywood actress.
She's doing her job.
Yep.
Which is to portray the character as best she can. Now
which is already written in a book, so the character is set out in a lump. Done. Yeah.
She will have proper. Well, you'd hope so that she's done some research. And
absolutely.
Again, we go through all of this doing this fucking privilege thing that everybody does, where we assume she doesn't have the same experience as us.
Yeah.
And then we go, I'm a domestic violence sufferer. I'm sorry, this is a really insensitive way to make this point. But you go, I'm a domestic violence sufferer, and she's running. You don't know what her story is.
Yeah.
She might be exactly the same as you.
Yeah, exactly. You don't,
she might be worse.
And she's not going to come out and say that either, because that's her personal business.
She doesn't have to. No. That's none of anyone's business.
It's the same when Evan Peters played Jeffrey Dahmer. No one for a second was like, does he eat people?
Yeah.
Maybe Evan Peters munches on humans. No one did that.
Look, there are some things that it makes more sense. I think when you play a character, this is my hot take, and it's not that hot of a take. I think if you're a person of color, if you're a trans person, if you're a disabled person, there are instances where you go, I'm a person of color, you should play a person.
You should represent that particular community.
Yeah. A disabled person, a trans person.
Are you quite right, little lady?
I think in those aspects, it's not just important because a straight person couldn't portray a trans person effectively. I think it's because the actors aren't given opportunity.
Yes.
So
they are bypassed.
We're trying to create jobs for people who get bypassed. So instead of getting someone who is able-bodied to play a disabled person, you could give it to a disabled actor who's equally as good, because they're not going to be able to go on and play all these other parts that an able-bodied person could.
Exactly.
So I think in those instances where the community that is being portrayed on the medium, stage, art, film, music, whatever fucking thing, it is when that community is underrepresented as the performer.
Yes.
Then it makes sense for them to be given the opportunity. To maybe be, if you have two people, if you have let's say you've got a trans role, a trans female.
Yep.
And you've got a trans female actress and you've got a cis female actress.
Yep.
Equally as good. You should give the role to the trans female actress.
Yeah, if they are
the cis woman might get a role somewhere else.
Yeah, if they are physically representing. Now they do say they do make that comparison with Blake and Baby Reindeer, saying the guy who portrayed himself, Baby Reindeer, experienced it, therefore he gave a better performance, which I think is horseshit.
It is horseshit because it's his story. He wrote it. He was in the story, but they wouldn't have in the brief. If he was just directing it, writing it, and putting it on, and they wanted to find an actor, in no way in the brief would they have put must have experience with being stalked, must have experience with...
Because they're not going to say to Evan Peters must have experience with chopping up bodies and
there are certain things,
killing people.
And admittedly, being a perpetrator of cannibalism and killing people and being the victim of domestic violence, two different things, but you can't represent that community like that. You can't bring people into auditions and be like, can you tell us your experience with domestic violence? We just want to make sure that you're well aware. That you're, that is something that's happened to you that's terrible.
Yeah.
And you who knows?
And that may, it's
and
such
these things, by the way, things might have happened.
We don't know.
Like Blake, do you have any experience? These conversations may have happened.
Yep.
But everyone is just making broad painting brushes
It is two camps. It is she's insensitive and she's not giving the appropriate trigger warnings and she's marketing the movie poorly and she's making it out like it's a chick flick and all that sort of shit. And then there's the other people saying she's an actress who wants to put bums in seats to promote her movie, which is also airing at the exact same time that her husband's movie is airing at the cinema opposite hers. She wants her movie to be as successful as her husband's, which I don't fucking blame her. Because if I was her, I would want my movie to be as successful as Geordie's movie, who came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And and I would go to the press junkets and I would speak about the good aspects of the movie. There's a lot of people who bring up the fact that, oh, I wouldn't have gone to see this movie because I don't want to be sad. But okay. That's not what she wants. No. She wants you to, and people enjoyed the movie. The consensus is the movie was great. So yes, Blake may be a little bit misleading and saying, oh, it's a great movie. It's got all of these wonderful people, and let's completely brush over the fact it's about domestic violence.
And by the way, that's not lying.
No.
She's saying it's a great movie.
Yep.
It has great performers.
Yep.
This is an opportunity for us to get together as girls and go champion this film.
Exactly, yeah.
And it is possible to have a good time surrounding awful experiences.
Yep, yep.
It's you can go to this, cry with your friends, cry with your partner, cry by yourself.
Marley and Me, My Sister's Keeper, all of those tragic movies films that have bad, horrible endings are good movies because it tells a story, you learn a lesson, you relate to the characters, etc., etc. And I'm sure Blake gave a great performance, judging on her previous things that she's done. I think she's a great person. Throwing it back to this lady.
Interview.
So this particular interview that we're going to watch here together, this woman, the interviewer, has... instead of her publication releasing, she herself has released this interview as a whole. Now, we don't know who edited the thing, but it was released by her.
8 years later.
8 years. So the interview has already happened.
2016, I believe this interview happened.
And it was edited in such a way that objectively watching it, you would assume Blake is being quite rude. Because, as we'll see...
My God. Yes. And by the way, I haven't even seen it yet, and I guarantee I've been more rude than her.
Yeah.
To strangers. Sometimes you just...
When you watch the edit, which is... It's 4 minutes and 17 seconds. I'm sure the interview went for at least half an hour. So this is what they've pulled, or maybe 10 minutes. But this is what they've pulled together and published. Yeah. And a lot of the shots that we'll see cuts back to the interviewer. What's her...
Kirsty.
Cuts back to the interviewer when she's not being spoken. So Blake,
Kirsty. Maybe it's Kirsty.
Maybe
that J is silent.
It cuts back to her when Blake and the other woman are not addressing her. They're talking to each other and they're explaining. They talk about the wardrobe. Blake does have a lot of punchbacks at this lady, which might have just been... This is 10 o'clock at night after a 7 a.m. start. Who knows?
Or this is 7 a.m. after 4 days.
Or 4 days.
They do these press junkets. They do these for weeks.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know how press junket works, the actors get taken into a room. They sit in a chair.
The same room.
They sit in a chair. It's not. They don't go to the interviewers. It's even the most famous interviewers you've ever seen.
Yep.
Like that English guy who interviewed Tarantino, and he said, "I'm shutting your butt down."
Yeah.
All these people come into the room. They set up.
They book the hotel room and they set it up with lights, cameras, everything.
They bring their own banner in and they just switch out the banner. They say, "We're TMZ. We're blah blah blah," and they just sit there for weeks. Not always the same location. The same location for days, and they go to the other city and interview people. And they go to the other city.
They go to the radio. They do the radio station circuit,
and they do these. And they get asked the same questions over and over again. There's a thing, no matter what she says in this interview, just picture the worst way you've acted towards somebody. I mean, I did it today. I sent you a voice note where I said I was such a Karen just then. I was in the driveway in that car park when those people were blocking the way, and then I got out and I was like, guys, is that the best place to stand? And they were like, mind your own fucking business. And I was like, I don't even have a good response to that.
You're right. Goodbye.
I've been disgustingly rude to people and regretted it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm really lucky it wasn't filmed. She's not.
So I'll say the portion that's been taken out and extrapolated. We're going to call her Kirsty because I don't know how to pronounce her name. Kirsty says to Blake is openly in the world pregnant in this interview. She says to Blake, "Congratulations on your little bump." And then Blake throws back to her straight away, "Congratulations on your little bump." Because...
What does that mean?
Well, it's saying don't assume that I'm pregnant, which is, I agree with her. Don't say, because we don't know if she had a fucking miscarriage or whatever. I think as a blanket rule, don't talk about pregnancy unless you actually know the person.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that thing of like, don't comment on someone's body.
Don't comment. So I think that is why Blake threw it back to her.
Yeah.
Now
and by the way, like we're all human beings. We're all shitty people.
Yeah.
We've all, even the people who are like way up in Instagram and like never talk about someone's body, has been in a room drunk with someone and been like,
fat fucking bitch.
Has said shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think this is a work setting. This is a professional setting.
So Blake throws back to her.
But by the way, in her defense, it's not that strange. This is 2016, a different time.
The problem
to say congratulations to someone isn't inherently an awful thing to do.
It's the extrapolation that's the problem. So she said, congratulations on your little bump.
Which is actually a nice thing to say. Whether you take that, whatever way you take that, it's nice to say congratulations on your pregnancy. Maybe it's in a different reality. It's insensitive.
So people are picking on Blake because she's thrown back and said, congratulations on your little bump. Now, Kirsty has come out and said that she's infertile.
Oh, bummer.
Which is...
Sorry. I didn't mean bummer to her being infertile. I meant bummer that she's just said that to the wrong person.
She has said it to the wrong person who she doesn't know. Yeah. And everyone has been like, oh my God, Blake's such a cow.
Wait, hold on. So she's saying,
Kirsty said, congrats on your little bump. Blake's thrown back to her and said, congrats on your little bump, being like, her tone is a shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Now everyone's gone, she said that to an infertile person. How insensitive, full stop.
But she did it first.
I know.
Oh, that's the point. That's what you're making.
That's what I'm saying.
So everyone's saying, how can you say that to an infertile?
That is the beef out of this interview. That is, so like the other one where she said, I'll give my phone number, my address, my file, my phone app. That's the beef that's been pulled out of this interview, saying, congrats on your little bump. Oh, congrats on yours. And then everyone's going, well, she's actually infertile and she can't have a baby. Boo Blake. How is Blake supposed to know that, number one? Number two is maybe she didn't mean it like that because there's no context. And number three, who the fuck cares? You've published this interview to have a go at Blake.
Also, number four, she did the first thing.
She started it, yeah.
You think as a, by the way, again, this is, I keep prefacing this because same deal. She's just a lady.
Yep.
The problem is she's done something here. She has put out this thing and said people can't get away with this.
Yes, that is her intent.
So
that's a very important thing you say there, is her intent of publishing this particular 4-minute interview is what you said, is Blake shouldn't get away with this.
Yeah, it's attacking.
She's on the attack.
Yeah, but the fourth point to that is that if the response back is, now I don't know if she said that or if the public is saying that, but if the response back is she shouldn't say that to her because she's infertile, you think that woman would herself maybe say, I shouldn't comment on another woman's pregnancy because I don't know. I've got my own experiences with infertility.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on with her. Like, it's very... It's very...
It was a bad comment.
Hypocritical from both. By the way, you're right. It is a bit of a nasty, be like, I mean, I haven't seen it, but to be like, congratulations on your bump. Like, what a stupid, but... Oops, fucking who doesn't make a mistake?
Relax.
Imagine making a mistake and then someone 8 years later fucking uses it to burn you.
Yeah.
While you're already getting stacked on by what this lady has done is opportunistic.
Yes, exactly. I've never seen this interviewer in my life, just quietly.
If she's saying anything like, it's a coincidence, fucking liar. You are being opportunistic because that 4.7 million views
has come from...
is cash money dollar.
She published it 3 weeks ago. So that 4.7 million views has come from 3 weeks ago. Objectively, and I thought this too, I thought this interview was for...
that movie.
And but it's
from
not.
2016. So she's seen Blake Lively getting stacked on.
And here you go. By the way, the publication that said maybe we both don't look great in this situation said don't publish this however many years ago. Here it is, because I've got the footage now and who knows, she may have edited it. It may have been a half an hour long interview. We don't know that. We don't know if it's cut up. The interesting thing about this...
We're setting this all up before we've even watched it.
I know. The interesting thing about this video is how many times the camera cuts back to Kirsty, who is blank face, who is
nodding,
objectively uncomfortable because Blake and the other woman are having that conversation. And Blake says another response. She goes, now the wardrobe is a huge part of the movie. How does your female fashion reflect? And Blake responds, I hope you're asking the men about the wardrobe because the men have this designer represented and these beautiful tailors that came in for the men and all that sort of thing.
Stock standard 2016 response. Like, remember, this is 2016. This was a time.
The Me Too.
Not even that. This was a time when we were saying, when
Equality.
Things were changing,
Yep.
and people were jumping on things. I did in 2016. We were all so ready to like be. Are you asking the men? Like this is not weird for her to be like. You know, the Scarlett Johansson was doing the same thing for Marvel when they were like, "Why is everyone asking me about my underpants?
Yeah,
what is going on here?"
Yeah.
Like it's that.
Or Wonder Woman's boobs.
You know,
they were asking Gal, why did they make your costume not enhance your breasts?
Yeah.
Or your breasts are too small to play Wonder Woman. She's like who the fuck cares?
And that's like, I mean, clearly that's what she's saying. She's like, why are you asking me about my clothes?
Yeah.
Ask me an actor question. I'm an actor. I've worked on my craft for 1,000 years and you're asking me about the costume? Ask the cunting costume department.
Yeah.
And we know you don't ask the men these questions.
Yeah.
And that's a valid point. And of course, sometimes when it just gets whipped out, like when it's two women talking and she says, what was the costume like? And she'd like, goes, oh, you ask the men, and you feel the interviewer get a little bit thrown under the bus. They're like, oh, it was just, you know, and of course there is a huge portion of women.
She does not bounce back at all,
There's a huge,
mind you.
huge portion of women and men who are interested in that stuff.
Yep.
Who would like to know about the costumes. So maybe it's not always the most appropriate thing to like, to yell back straight away and be like, you ask the men, but it's not unreasonable. Haven't watched the interview.
Shall we give it a gaze? Let's give it a go.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
This lady on the right instantly
nice
Who's that?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah. So she's obviously an.
It's not Elizabeth Olsen, is it?
I have no idea.
Not bump.
No,
it's
Elizabeth
not
Olsen.
Elizabeth
No, Elizabeth.
Check it out.
I don't know who she is.
Can't remember her fucking name.
You like the movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I think it is.
Most of his
She has a
movies are
weird
beautiful,
haircut. This
so,
one.
like, visually
Elizabeth.
amazing.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, working in
Everyone
digital.
wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
Yeah, all right. She was ready for that. Like,
I love Jesse's
some
suits and
beautiful-
hats.
so the lady on the
Thanks.
right has answered like, yes, I loved wearing those clothes, and Blake was.
And the thing they've pulled apart is they're not acknowledging the interview. They're not talking to her. And they always cut back to her, listening to them talk, and they're just talking to each other.
Yeah.
Top
Oh,
of
it's
it.
so good.
Just like- it's just like
Did you
that. You
catch
could feel
And
it.
you know what?
Cloth on the light in the Italian restaurant.
We don't know if that's at the same time when she's reacting
Yes.
here, because we can't see them talking.
She looked back at her then. She's acknowledging her, but it's a three-way conversation.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know?
it's amazing to
And she's so angry.
And then you notice in LA, like everybody's in cream colors and all the.
She's so unhappy being ignored.
Yeah.
It
But
did-
why are they cutting back to her?
So that we can see her reaction. We
Yeah.
can see how nasty Blake's being. What a fucking bitch. Unbelievable. This is so
It is a lot
framed.
sunnier in LA, and New York has just a steaminess to it.
And I think, you know, the whole Hollywood glam, it's so glamorous.
There's no way that question fell into that place
No.
perfectly. That was put there on purpose. Now, they've been here all day,
their own.
and they're actually having a conversation that they're enjoying. And it's not so strange for them to be talking to each other.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, this is, you know, of course there's this other person here and they should probably acknowledge him, but they're not acknowledging her. Even Blake glanced back once or twice.
An adult.
Yeah.
When you have to,
She's looking back. She's engaging her with her eyes.
you play at your life in
By
a.
the way, it's not who I thought it was.
You find successful or. So it's a lot about choices, and then they carry this.
Like, what does that 10 seconds now? What does that 10-second shot have anything to do with the interview?
Yeah.
She's not even remotely reacting to what they're saying.
No.
And we can't see them talking in this shot, so we don't know where she's pulled that from what part of the interview, and put that in there. She's not even mic'd up properly, the interviewer.
Look how much she's talking to the interviewer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's always.
Now, of course, it started off rough. They were having a.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
It started off confrontational, and then maybe they, in that moment, went, "This person's not worth our time."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is.
I think because of the how intrusive media is.
They look tired, by the way.
Yeah.
These look like a couple of tired bitches.
You can even see the makeup on them is like.
And if you are
It's getting like
It's
they're getting clammy. They're getting hot. They just want to go out and get some air. They probably had 6 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
people feeling like they know someone that they don't, because they know what the media has created of someone. And the disappointing thing is when you meet the people, they're always so much more awesome than than they're portrayed to be.
She's making the same point I was.
That's normally my experience. And even people that are portrayed to be really great people, they're just a lot more complicated and interesting and nuanced and caring and thoughtful. And that's always nice, you know, to see that your idea of someone isn't always who they actually are.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay? Thank you guys.
Take care.
I didn't say that bit at the end. See how she like rolled her eyes. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Now obviously that is interesting. There was an attitude. There was a. They decided early on that they didn't like this person, and they decided to continue the interview and just have as much of a good time and give the person as much as they could. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been in plenty of situations.
Did you see on the recommended, she's also released so many follow-ups of like, my NAMA interview. Someone analyzes my body during this interview.
It's opportunistic.
It's absolutely. And like.
And by the way, that was slowed down at the end. Slowed down her eye rolling. She has edited this.
Yeah.
And by the way, I made this point early on. For those who don't work in any kind of video production area, there's a thing called B-roll, right? And I experienced this with the Barbie movie, which I was never able to explain to people who got upset with me, that Ben and I would record B-roll because the way that footage was done was it was 2 different cameras, and we would cut back and forth between the 2 of us chatting, and then we had 1 camera from the front.
Yeah.
But in order to make the conversation seem tighter than it sometimes was, we would record B-roll, which was me sitting here doing this. And then I'd do that for about 10 seconds, and then I'd do one of me
like nodding.
just nodding.
Yep.
And I would use that.
Which you can use in the edit to, you know, if there's something like if the camera, I sometimes do that too with my shoots. If my camera, the main camera does a fucking autofocus and it goes really blurry and then it zooms back out again, I got to put something over the top of it because I can't use the main source of footage, which is exactly what you explained.
So that B-roll is footage that wasn't taken at the time, and I use that so that Ben would be talking. I'd show footage of Ben talking, and then I want to cut to another piece. I want to cut out something in the middle and cut to another thing that he was saying. So I'd cut back to me using B-roll of me nodding or whatever. So you can't see him, so you can't see the footage cut. So
jump,
it sounds like a consecutive thought that Ben had, but I use footage of me nodding to fill in that gap. And I was like, one of the points somebody made was you were like, even though you didn't say particularly bad things, you sat there and you nodded and like agreed. And I was like, egg on my face for doing that. Because, you know, I should have been smarter and used. I
see where this.
I should have used the footage of me.
You're agreeing with that point. You're like, Ben wasn't even here when I shot that footage.
And by the way, and by the way, I'm using that footage. I'm not even thinking by that point in the film, by that point in the editing process, in the production process.
I just need something to chuck in there.
Didn't even think about it. Just went like, here's something to fill that hole. And it does, it looks like I'm nodding. And I'm not saying I did agree or I didn't agree.
You are active listening.
I just used fake footage of me. And that's what this sort of shit is. They've taken a big long interview and they cut back to her so that they can trim up the audio.
It is disturbingly long. How much it cuts back to her not reacting to them. If they cut back to her and she was nodding along, like you said, like a B-roll cut, or if it was another camera angle and she was reacting to them talking and she was smiling and she was looking at both of them and doing what she should have been fucking doing as a professional.
There's no reason to cut back the footage.
that
Unless
clip
they're
of
trying
her,
to trim up the fucking thing, or she's using it to say, look how grumpy I am. Look how much I'm being bullied.
That clip of her looking at Blake talking for like 10 seconds is ludicrous.
Yeah, like she didn't say anything. You're literally putting that footage there just so everyone sees you.
Who has
upset.
a sourpuss look on your face the entire time.
Yeah.
She's not nodding. She's not interacting. She's kind of just glancing between the two. It is put there. You can't even hear what Blake is saying because it pulls so much focus.
Yeah.
Like, and that's obviously the point of the... She can come out and say, that wasn't the point of the thing. That's just how the blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. You edit something. If you didn't want to edit something, fucking post the whole interview of all camera angles.
Let's see the raw footage.
Raw.
Put the raw footage out,
It's
lady.
fucking raw.
Now, just so no one thinks that we're like, because there will be an argument of like, well, I mean, you're saying that Blake Lively has a history and a story and a blah, 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 but you're not saying that she might have her own experiences.
It's the same with the miscarriage stuff.
She put this out to attack a person, and I'm commenting on that.
Yeah.
Blake Lively didn't put anything out. She
was being interviewed for this movie.
Yes, and she was
forced to be there by the company that made the movie.
She was doing her job and acting, and she was tweeting and doing the thing and being interviewed. Like this person has nothing Blake Lively seems to have done was in any way with any negative
malicious?
intention.
Yeah.
Malicious, perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Then nothing she did was malicious except maybe like in that interview. But
About
she's responding to it. You know, and by the way, I don't support that. I think that was a cunty thing to say. There are ways to make your point. There are places to make your point. I think in an interview where you have to get along with a person in a 15-minute
and you have to have
setting,
a conversation.
Maybe sometimes you just go, you know
Which
what?
maybe Blake
I'm going to let this one fly.
Yeah.
It's like sitting around with your racist uncle and you're like, I can't change your mind. I don't want to make dinner uncomfortable. I'm just going to shut my mouth.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes it's appropriate to stand up at the dinner table and scream at your stepdad, you're a racist, and then apologize the next day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah. But maybe she wouldn't have reacted like that if she didn't have the backup of her friend or whoever the other lady was in the interview to diffuse the situation.
And maybe she wouldn't have reacted like this if she hadn't been doing this for 3 weeks straight. Yeah. And maybe we would have known nothing about this if it wasn't filmed and put out by a grumpy twat.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Good night, Australia.
Goodbye. Hey, it's GMat here from The Real GMat, and don't forget, if you enjoyed that episode of Mentally Illegal and you want to hear more, we also have the podcast post show available exclusively to our Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/GMat podcasts. The podcast post show is a shorter episode recorded directly after the main podcast where we just keep on chatting. Again, patreon.com/GMat podcasts. Don't forget to thumbs up, rate, and like this podcast on your podcast app of choice and share it with all of your friends.